Robyn Rowen, your Big I lobbyist with the first legislative update of the season. Typically, at this point in session, I would be reporting that after a slow January devoted to committee overviews and helping the 47 freshmen find the cafeteria, the new legislature is getting down to business, but this year has been anything but typical. After only 30 days in St. Paul, the legislature has already codified reproductive freedom as a fundamental right, committed Minnesota to be carbon-free by 2040, enacted the Crown Act prohibiting discrimination based on natural hair type, established Juneteenth as a state holiday, and enacted a federal conformity bill. In addition, bills providing driver's licenses for all and restoring the vote for felons post-incarceration have already passed the House and are awaiting Senate action. And that's not all. Bills establishing a paid family and medical leave employer mandate and legalizing recreational marijuana are currently flying through the committee process in both houses. Also noteworthy is that the House and Senate DFL are working in lockstep. They are fending off Republican floor amendments and passing identical bills. This means the bills are going straight to the governor's desk without a conference committee to resolve differences between the houses. Something that is highly unusual, especially with complex bills like the carbon-free energy goals. And it doesn't look like the legislature will be slowing down anytime soon. Looking at the number of bills introduced in the House through February 2nd in prior sessions, the average is 461 bills. This year, however, House members have already introduced 1,270 bills through February 2nd, an increase of almost 3 times the average. Take a deeper look at the bills that will impact you and your clients. First up is the Paid Family and Medical Leave Act, otherwise known as House File and Senate File 2. I rarely mention bill numbers except as a reference, but in the case of paid family and medical leave, the bill number indicates that the proposal is a significant priority for the DFL. The only other proposal to outrank PFML was the Reproductive Freedom Bill, which was House and Senate File 1. Specifically, House File and Senate File 2 will require employers to provide up to 12 weeks of paid medical leave and 12 weeks of paid parental and family leave. The leaves can be stacked, so an employee could take up to 24 weeks of leave per year. The program would be administered by the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development and would be funded by a 0.7% increase in the payroll tax. Employers would be able to split the payroll tax with their employees. Employers can also opt out of the state plan if they provide a private plan that provides at least the same benefits and protections as the state plan. Independent contractors can participate in the state plan if they are so inclined. The bill also provides grants to assist small businesses to temporarily replace employees on leave. The program would begin to pay benefits in July of 2025 and is pre-funded with $1.7 billion in one-time money from the surplus. Despite the opposition of the business community, counties, cities, and school districts, the bill has already passed out of 5 committees in the Senate and 3 in the House, with minimal changes to the expansive government program. The Big I is teaming up with other agent groups to educate legislators on the burdens this bill will impose on businesses, especially small agencies. Since it's hard to envision a scenario where this doesn't pass, however, we are also advocating for changes to the bill that will make it easier for businesses to manage the new benefit program, including an exemption for small businesses, something the other 11 state-run PFML states have done. We are also following the legalization of adult use cannabis, which is another bill that is moving relatively quickly through the committee process. Not to get into the weeds, but House File 100 and Senate File 73 establish a regulatory framework for adult use cannabis, move the medical cannabis program under the newly created Office of Cannabis Management, oppose a 15% tax on adult use cannabis, create grants to assist individuals entering into the legal cannabis market, and providing for expungement and resentencing of certain cannabis convictions. As you can see, I've been joined by my support dog. To date, the most contentious items in the legislation relate to the regulation and enforcement of a legal cannabis market, which groups like the Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association and the Minnesota Sheriff's Association are criticizing as not nearly robust enough. The bill is also being criticized for virtually eliminating municipal oversight of cannabis sales. The Big I Legislative Committee is currently evaluating both the risks and opportunities presented by this legislation. On the risk side, members are concerned about safety in the workplace and on the roads. On the opportunity side, should we be proposing mandatory insurance coverage for the businesses in this new market? We are interested in your thoughts, so please do not hesitate to reach out, or better yet, consider joining us on the Legislative Committee. Climate resiliency is another priority for the DFL-controlled legislature, as well as for the Department of Commerce. In the governor's budget, which was released last week, the Department of Commerce is proposing a resiliency program called Strengthen Minnesota Homes, which is a $32 million grant program for homeowners to buy wind and hail-resistant roofs. The program will include a mandatory actuarially justified premium discount. The DOC's goal is to help homeowners mitigate the cost of climate change. Not only are we supportive of the DOC's efforts in this area, but we also think this is a golden opportunity to introduce legislation aimed at curbing the tactics of storm chasers and the resulting upward pressure on homeowners' premiums. So we are teaming up with the insurance companies to propose a bill that will limit the use of benefit assignments, require contractors to make certain disclosures, including an itemization of costs and materials, and preventing an individual from serving as a contractor and public adjuster on the same claim. We will share the bill once it is ready to be introduced, and we'll be looking for your help in working this through the legislature. As you can see, there is a lot at stake in St. Paul this year. That is why we need your voice at the Capitol. So please consider joining us for Insurance Day at the Capitol this year. March 15th is the day, and like the legislature, we are back live this year. The event is free, and CE credits have been applied for in case you need an extra incentive to lobby on behalf of your business and clients. Registration is now open, so be on the lookout for this flyer with the registration link. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.